This is the 49 Carats Prospect Spotlight. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats Prospect Spotlight, where you get a chance to learn more about NFL draft hopefuls. I'm Steph Sanchez. Today, I am joined by University of Northern Iowa defensive lineman Khristian Boyd. Khristian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to have you. And for everyone tuning in, make sure you guys show some love to Khristian. Hit that like button. If you guys have any, good questions for him, put them in the comments. I'll make sure we get to those. But I got some questions of my own, so let's get right into it. I've been doing some research on you, Khristian, and I've seen that you've said UNI felt like a home to you. How much did that, and also like Coach Farley, play into your decision to choose UNI for your college career?
I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I went to Blue Springs High School. And we had dudes that went to my high school that went to UNI, and then eventually got drafted. And I always saw myself, like, I always saw a pipeline there. I always saw a path, to get to where I want to get to, going to UNI. And then took an official visit with me and some guys around the area, and I loved it. We loved it. We all committed together, and I'm glad I made that decision to this day.
And I imagine having a consistent environment like throughout your college career definitely helped you just focus on growing as a player. Was there a specific area in your game, or maybe even in the intangibles, that you look back on and you're like, man, I grew a lot in this area?
Yeah, I would definitely just say, probably my pass rush for sure. I wasn't really a pass rush guy at all. I went to UNI. I was a run stuffer, just big dude in the middle. And then, I started to develop a pass rushing game, started to develop a plan, on how to attack my opponents. It kind of just was, working on the intangibles of my pass rush game, and then watching film, studying my opponents, seeing, what kind of sets they do, and, what they're going to give me before the game. And I feel like that was a huge step in my game.
Okay, yeah, and that's definitely something I wanted to ask you about, because it feels like every season, you leveled up, you honed in on your craft. And so I know that preparation plays a big part in the success of what you do and in the sport, right? So when it comes to film study, what are some of the things you look at, and how do you study your opponent? Like, break it down for us.
Oh yeah, for sure. So first off, I'm looking at the formations, looking at the running back and the tight ends, where they're lined up, because a lot of times that tells you where the offensive line is going. If the running back's on one side, if the tight ends on the other side, if they're slicing, things like that. And that even goes into pass protection. If they're a big center back team, or they're a big fan team, that plays a huge factor into it. And then also pre-snap keys. I'm looking at the offensive lineman, if they're leaning one way or other. If they're a good quick setter, if they like to quick set a lot, or if they give me their chest. Those are things I look at when I'm studying film.
All right, yeah. I mean, it definitely shows that you come out prepared, and you're able to kind of use that to your advantage on game day. And you were able to participate in both the Hula Bowl and the Shrine Bowl. That's been huge for you. So congrats on that. How did it feel to get those invites?
Oh yeah, that felt great. I initially got the Hula Bowl invite. I wanted the Shrine invite, right after the season, but it didn't really happen. And then I got the Hula Bowl, went there, and did what I had to do, handle business. And then I got invited to the Shrine game, and going to that week, my mindset was, I'm trying to dominate every rep that I can. I'm going against dudes that just won a national championship, like dudes at Michigan, just top notch dudes, and I wanted to prove myself out there.
Yeah, so from an iron sharpens iron standpoint, you mentioned all the great players you're going up against that are kind of on the same boat as you, as draft hopefuls. Was there a player at the Hula or Shrine Bowl that you kind of locked horns with a bit, and you think gave you a good challenge?
Yeah, I would definitely say Xavier Galvin. I actually trained with him, and he's a great dude, and a great football player. He's big and he's quick, and I feel like he's going to be a player that people are sleeping on, but is for sure going to excel in the NFL.
Sure. And I know for a lot of players, like those all-star bowl games are kind of like their first taste of NFL coaching as well. Like, was it an adjustment for you to experience that out there, or was there anything that surprised you?
Not really. I got pretty much coached by the same dude my whole career, but I feel like I could really mesh with any type of coaching style. I had an old school coach at UNI, and then at the Shrine game we had a younger dude. And then we had Coach Lowe also, Coach Bing and Coach Lowe, and both of those were great NFL coaches. I feel like they helped me grow my game, even though it was in a short amount of time. I learned a lot from those coaches.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, and you generated a lot of buzz with this push and pull move of yours that everyone was talking about following your Shrine Bowl practices. And it seems like it just never failed you. Why do you think you've become so successful at it? And like, what's kind of been your secret to perfecting it?
Definitely. I mean, that was my go-to move in college too. I'm a power rusher. I like to, get my hands inside, get leverage on guys, and then, I start off with a bull rush, and then as soon as I feel that they sit down on my bull, I just pull them and work either the swim move or the club, arm over, things like that. And I also went to the week before before the Shrine Week. Me and my agent was studying film on each of the offensive linemen that we're going to be going against, and I kind of figured
Okay, yeah.
plan for each dude I was going against, and I try to execute that.
I love that you did that because like I think a lot of guys just kind of go into it like we're all just practicing here. We'll figure it out along the way. We'll get used to who we're going up against every day. But you were calculated and you did the studying beforehand, so you kind of knew it would work against all those guys. And so like I said, like a lot of people took notice, and you're definitely what people around this time of the year would call a riser or a sleeper, right? It just still seems like there's people sleeping on you still because you didn't receive an invite to the combine, which is crazy to me. But how are you using that to kind of motivate you through this process going forward as you now prepare for your pro day?
Oh yeah, you already know I'm adding fuel to the fire. I'm trying to attack every single day at training house in Minneapolis right now where I'm training at. I'm trying to take advantage of every single day, and I already had a chip on my shoulder, but that gave me an even bigger chip, and I'm definitely gonna use that. Probably the rest of my career. I'm always gonna look back on that, and that was one of my things going to the combine, but it also gives me a little extra time to train for pro day, and you know
Hmm.
so I just got to show out there and then let the chips fall where they place.
So you said you're training in Indy too?
Oh no, I'm training in Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I heard Indian. I was like, man, that's crazy too, because then they'd be right under your nose and extra fuel to the fire, I guess. But I mean, yeah, throughout this process, and I'm sure that any type of extra motivation you can get, is definitely an advantage to you. But at the end of the day, like what matters most is what teams think about you, right? And they got two big chances to see you up close, at the Hula Bowl and the Shrine Bowl, and now close to being a third opportunity at your pro day. So, so far in this process, what type of feedback are you getting from teams of what they like or what they want to see more of from you?
Yeah, I mean, they say I got quick explosion. I play with great leverage. I got great hand placement, and then some things that they said I need to work on, of course, is hand movement when it comes to pass rushing. Trying to bend the corner better, flip my hips more, things like that. And I feel like I could take my game to a whole new level with that, and that's what I'm gonna try to do this offseason and then off seasons to come.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's definitely smart to take the feedback that they're giving you. And I know when I watch you, like I see the strength. I see violent hands. You can work through double teams. You're a factor on every play, whether it's passing down or a run play. But when you watch yourself, what is something you've self-identified as something you want to improve leading up to the draft?
I mean, to be honest, I thought the same thing when they was talking about hand movement when it comes to pass rushing. I feel like I left some plays out there that
Okay.
letting dudes keep their hands on me instead of finishing a rip move with another double arm swipe or something. Just keep their hands off me and bend in the corner better. That's what I thought I could have did better, and that's what I got a lot of feedback on.
I guess it's good. Like, you guys are on the same page on that, and you know what you got to improve on at the next level. Is there a player in the NFL today that you watch a lot of tape on, or you try to emulate with your game?
I mean, there's a few dudes that I watch, but I just feel like Dexter Lawrence. He's just a monster out there. Every year he's improving, and then his stats might not show up, but he's super productive, and he's a force every play that he's out there. And I love watching film on him.
Now, is there a specific offensive lineman in the league that you'd be like, man, I really want to go up against him because I think that'd be a great challenge?
Oh yeah, Quinn Nelson for sure. He's an animal. Ever since he came into the league, at Notre Dame, I'm like, man, that'd be crazy to go against him and to really challenge myself, because that's what I feel like I want to do. I want to go against the best dudes, and he's definitely a player I want to go against in the future.
Yeah, you didn't even hesitate on the answer, so I know you had thought about it before, and hopefully, yeah, you'll get that opportunity at the next level. Is there a specific scheme in the NFL that you feel like would be a perfect fit for your skill set?
I feel like being at UNI, I played 3-4, 4-3 my whole career, and I feel like I could fit in really any scheme, whether it's at a nose guard, a 0, 1, all the way up to a 3. I feel like I could play in any of those positions, and I really want to play in like a Browns or a Colts scheme where you just get off the ball and be violent, and I feel like that would best suit my game for sure.
Yeah, I feel like, obviously teams love that versatility and you being able to play in any kind of scheme. Um, what is a look, always end my interviews with this. What is a team or a fan base getting with Christian Boyd, both on and off the field?
Well, on the field, I feel like they're gonna get the dude that's tenacious, that's gonna bring it every day, whether it's at practice, in a game. And I feel like a guy that I feel like I'm a great dude when it comes to being in the locker room. I feel like I can mesh and mold with any type of locker room. You know, and I feel like off the field, I stay down, I keep my nose clean because I'm looking at something bigger. I'm trying to take care of my family, start a legacy, and change the trajectory of my family history. So that's my goals.
I love that. I definitely love that. You used the word tenacious. I was like, damn, that's a good word, man. You're definitely a dog out there on the field, and this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. You've already, like I said, been rising up the draft boards, so definitely best of luck in these next few months. That pro day, hopefully you put up all the numbers that you've been wanting to. And yeah, man, I'm gonna be following along. When is your pro day, by the way?
March 18th.
March 18th. Okay, so a little less than a month to go.
Uh,
Thank you so much, Christian. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
For all you guys that tuned in, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'll have plenty more prospect spotlight interviews like this one. But for now, have a good rest of your Thursday, folks. Peace.